How's everybody doing? Day one of Summit. Well, if you don't count Saturday night. Yeah. All right, well, awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I know that there's a bunch of other sessions at the same time. You kind of have to pick one, so I appreciate the time. So this talk is going to be, so I guess I should start by introducing myself. I'm Adil. I work at Wiz. I'm a senior solutions engineer there. I used to work at Chocolatey before that, and Okta and Palo Alto and all those places, but no ego slide here. We'll just move on from that. So this talk is about the three cloud providers, right? Basically, and one keyboard, me, right? Kind of in the middle of that, and sort of like kind of trying to understand how to navigate that from an anchor that I understand, right? So firstly, thank you to our sponsors. Very important to say. The lunch that we're going to enjoy shortly, as well as this room, wouldn't be possible without them. So please feel free to thank them yourself. Go by their booth, grab some stickers and swag. Okay, back to the terminal here. So you see this command in front of you. Get AZVM, resource group name, RG, West US, name Adil VM. It's a pretty standard command. This was in Cloud Shell. I put it in. Can anybody tell me what was wrong with this command? Looks okay, right? Looks fine? Okay, I'll save you the stress. It's a trick question. I put this into Cloud Shell a couple of times, kept failing. It was only like 10, 15 seconds later, and I'm being kind about that timing, that I realized I was in AWS Cloud Shell, not Azure Cloud Shell. Yeah, it happens more than I'd like to admit. So that kind of happens again and again to me, and I ended up having to work in a multi-cloud environment, right, with AWS, GCP, and Azure. Wiz, we are a multi-cloud product, so I very much have like sandbox environments in all the different clouds. By a show of hands, how many of you here actually work in multiple clouds? Yeah, okay. Well, you're in the right room, great. You're among my people. So kind of what kept up happening with me was like I didn't feel like I was learning one big system. I felt like I was renting three different brains. And one of them was always like not there, right, or in that moment. So I reached for the one tool that I kind of wanted to go to, which was PowerShell. And this is, I should probably say first, this it's not just you, right? We kind of need to understand that multi-cloud is hard for a reason. And the reason is not that you're necessarily bad at it. It's because the three clouds were not designed to coexist in one person's head. They were designed independently, right, for different motives, right? So AWS very much was built to sell books originally and to scale out the infrastructure in that way. Azure was built out of a lot of Microsoft's enterprise business, right? So Active Directory, hierarchies, RBAC, all of that, rolling into that. And GCP sort of has, Google's always kind of done their own thing, right? So very much their idea is IAM bindings, different types of things. They're already at a large scale already, right? So they don't really need to worry about what everybody else is doing. They kind of do their own thing. And that was actually kind of why, side note, I can throw shade at Google a little bit because Wiz was recently acquired by Google, so now we're a Google company. So I kind of got into this originally because we very much have the Azure PowerShell and AWS PowerShell, but Google Cloud PowerShell versions are no longer being maintained. So it's the G Cloud CLI now, more so. So that's kind of where I went back to this originally, right? So again, like I said, if the systems don't agree, I want an anchor that does, right? And for me, that anchor is PowerShell, right? Not because PowerShell is objectively the best, right? I don't believe in objectively best for any tool, right? So if you use Bash, we can still be friends. If you use Python, I'll allow it. But like from that perspective, it doesn't matter, right? It's just whatever tool you're most fluent in. And for me, that was PowerShell. So my hands already knew the shape of the language, the verb noun, the pipeline, the object out. That was all pretty easy for me. So the cognitive load of that was close to zero, right? And that's a big part of this is the idea that like every time you're having to cognitively switch between different types of commands and different tools, it kind of slows you down, right? And you want to be fluent. You want to be able to reach for something that you can use easily. So this is kind of where I came out of this, built a module for this specifically because I do this all the time. And I wanted to start small. I didn't want to cover everything. So firstly, the name, right? PS Cumulus. Why is it PS Cumulus? Well, because it's a cumulative group of shells and cumulative group of clouds that I'm trying to accumulate together, but also because basically every other cloud noun was taken, right? Like every cloud service provider, every sort of tool already has some name. So I just settled on PS Cumulus. Took me about 5 minutes, and then I was like, I give up. This is easy. So where I wanted to start with this was very much like everything. These are the 11 public commands, right? They're deliberately small because I had about double these commands, but then I realized like I need to take a step back and think about this because the reality is like I'm kind of normalizing concepts across clouds, right? And there are certain things that normalize well and certain things that don't. So I wanted to be very intentional about what I do normalize and what I don't, right? And every command I wanted to essentially return the same kind of output, the output shape, let's say, right? Regardless of which cloud it's hitting. So that's the whole bet that I wanted to make, right, with this. So I'm gonna try this here. Let's see if I can do this live. I had some issues with this before, so I'm gonna pray to the demo gods. Let's see if I can pull this off. Can I move this here? Okay, I'm going to stop extending now. I'm going to go to start mirroring. Can you all see my terminal okay? Woohoo, okay, first step done. Let me turn hiding on and make this bigger so everybody can see. Okay, let's try this here. Let me go in and go import module first. Ever important, this is PS Cumulus. I can see I have some commits to do, that's fine. So let's do connect first. So we'll do connect cloud, and I'm actually gonna go across all of them here. Now, what you're gonna see is I've actually mocked some of this because I didn't want to depend on conference Wi-Fi, but this is essentially what you'll get as a part of this. And I think what's happening is it's actually connecting. Yay, okay, so first thing, so let's get cloud context and see. Oh yeah, okay. So what's happening right now is I'm connecting my live environment so you can see random other things. So let me just go in and go demo CLS. Okay, let's do, give me 1 second here. Okay, I'm gonna swap over and hop into this. I have something just for this very reason. Let me just go ahead and copy this out. Okay, sorry to give anybody seasickness there. Okay, let's do the demo setup again. And let me see, connect cloud. Azure. Okay, now that's what I'm expecting. Okay, cool. So now let's get the cloud context and understand what that is. Okay, cool. We can see we have 3 different accounts here, Azure, AWS, and GCP, right? Different users, different scopes, different regions that are connected to them. So importantly, I'm abstracting away a lot of this, but I'm not abstracting away certain things. Generally, I'm just using the token that's built into the session. So if you don't have login to any of these clouds, it'll pop up a web session that'll allow you to authenticate for any of the 3 clouds. So now that we're here, we have the context, let's have some fun. So let me go to get cloud instance, and let's just do all. Okay, so this was like the moment for me. I ran this command like 10 times when it first ran, and it did actually work, believe me. Like my GCP environment's a little bit weird right now, but the important thing is I was able to normalize across all 3 clouds. I was able to get output, right? And I'm able to have that in that PS object format that I love, right? I can use now pull out things like metadata from it and other things like that. So I'm just gonna run a bunch of commands here in once, just to see the environment a bit. Let me just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna pull up my, it's gonna invoke all demo queries here, just to make it a little bit quicker, and then I'll talk through what I've done. Okay, all right, so a couple things you can do with this, right? You can take those instances, you can pipe them to where object, and then filter for tags. This is specifically, like there's a function for this called find untagged instances that I built. This is mainly just to say, hey, are there any instances that aren't following compliance policies of having a tagged owner, right? Second query that I ran or command that I ran was get cloud install, and now I was looking at what was stale, what was not running for a certain amount of days. And over here I have fleet health. So essentially I'm looking at, which VMs are shut down, which ones are running, which ones are terminated. And also this can be used in the sense of like a cost center rollup, right? So you're trying to understand where cost centers are existing, what individual groups are tied to stuff. Again, you can do things like finding oldest instances and pieces like that, just as examples here, right? So let me hop back in here and finish out strong. Okay, let me just switch over to change extended display. See if this works. Okay, cool. Yay, it worked. All right. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so we kind of ran through that, a bunch of those things quickly, right? And I kind of wanted to show you the demo of it actually working a little bit more. But the idea behind this, right, is all that we have 8 fields here, essentially, right? Name, provider, region, status, size, created at, tags, and metadata, right? So the 7 of the fields we've kind of seen, we understand, right? The important thing is the 8th metadata is actually where I kind of wanted to be honest about provider native stuff here, right? So your Azure resource group, your AWS VPC ID, your GCP zone, those are real like objects, are real ideas or resource types or values, but they're not, if I normalize that across all clouds, it's just not going to be honest, right? I felt like, so I was always trying to abstract away whatever I could, but put the rest in metadata as much as possible, right? And this works pretty well, mostly, but I'll mention places where it doesn't specifically. And again, very much this is a work in progress. I'll share the repo link as well as the PowerShell module after the talk, and you can go ahead and check it out there. And PRs are welcome, please. So from this perspective, right, obviously I wanted to abstract away and I wanted to use cloud instance instead of not get VM, right? I don't want to collide into other things. But I'm also trying to stay away from like specifically like trying to normalize around the cloud instance concept and not like VM or anything specific like that. I'm always trying to like keep that straight in my head too. And from that like extrapolation there, right, essentially I'm going, these are some of the commands that I'm basically like trying to normalize across, right? And you can see like get AVVM, get EC2 instance, and the GCal compute stuff, it all comes into cloud instance. Cloud storage is covered, cloud disk is covered, cloud networking, cloud function, and cloud tag, right? Tags is interesting because GCP handles tags very differently from AWS and Azure, but absolutely no surprise there. The important thing here is IAM, right? IAM is actually like the one thing where I used to work at Okta for 3 years. I could talk your ear about OIDC and SAML all you want, but the idea behind identity specifically is like sometimes you need to know what you don't need to abstract or you shouldn't abstract, right? I think that's a part of it too, is knowing what you don't want to do. So that dash you see there is very much on purpose because the idea behind identity, right, is simple, right? The question is simple, like who has access and what can they do, right? It should be the same across all 3 clouds, but the answer is not something that lends to normalization, right? That's the tough part, is because like AWS looks at policy docs, right? It's essentially JSON that it's attaching to principles. And Azure looks at role assignments, essentially a hierarchical inherited approach, right? And GCP looks at this as IAM bindings, right? Resource scoped, member and role. And so for that reason, it's not easy to kind of massage that together, right? That's part of the challenge there very much. And so this is normally where anybody who's been sitting through this talk for so long goes, but Adil, like Terraform exists. Why are you even building this, right? The idea behind that is really simple, right? Terraform is great. I love and use Terraform every day. It solves a different problem though, right? Terraform standardizes the infrastructure, right? What exists, what shape, manage this code, desired state, right? Idempotence, all that stuff, provisioning, drift correction. But Terraform is not like an operational shell. It's not what I reach for day to day. It's not trying to behave like one either, right? If your question is what should exist, you reach for Terraform very much. But if your question is like what exists and what's the shape of it right now, and can I filter before I have to page somebody like late at night, that's kind of where I built Cumulus for. And so a couple of things about what it doesn't do. very importantly. So I mentioned IAM already, obviously. There's really no cost surface, right? Because costs can be very complicated. It has to involve ELAs, sometimes enterprise agreements, et cetera, et cetera. There's no unified health status per se, but there is some thought around trying to build some of that. There's no write commands right now because I don't want to be risky about this. I want to approach it the right way, but eventually, the only stuff that I can do really is start and stop instances currently. But it's a start. And of course, like I mentioned, we already talked about no IAM. But kind of where I'm coming at with this talk is I have a starting point, right? I very much am looking at the rest of the community to see if there's an interest in this and to see if you'd like one single shell that you can operate in all three clouds in, right? So often what happens is when we're in a crunch time, when it's like, you're trying to figure out why something isn't working and you're deploying something on a Friday and, your kid is sick and you're trying to get everything done, then you kind of reach for whatever's comfortable, right? And it's like jobs will often get weird on you at certain points. So the idea behind PS Cumulus is it's sort of the tool you can reach to as your cognitive anchor when things get weird. And I'll just leave it at that. There's the QR codes for the PowerShell module as well as the repo. It's open source. Again, PRs and commits welcome. Any questions?
Are you using any sort of config for mapping between all of those? Is there a set standard that you're using?
Right. So I collect all of it as an object, right, and then I kind of parse from there. So there's no easy answer to your question. It's nuanced, but yeah. Essentially, that's what I'm doing. I'm basically collecting all the metadata and all the object values. I'm running the standard commands under the hood for AZ and for AWS, but then for G-Cloud, I'm kind of having to massage that a little bit. And so those ones are easy. Then I kind of massage the other one and I put it together. Yeah. Go for it, Jeffrey.
I'm curious as to, you mentioned that the output was PS objects.
Yeah.
Had you considered having them be classes where you have a common base class and then each thing has different subclasses so that you don't have one metadata, you have the actual property names, and then you can attach provider-specific methods?
Oh, yeah, okay. So for the benefit of the recording, instead of objects, Jeffrey mentions, have you considered classes as your top level idea, and then you kind of filter from there, right? I think that's a really interesting.
You register a PS format.
Yes. Right. Yeah, I actually hadn't thought of that. That's a great idea. Well, coming from somebody who has great ideas. So, the funny thing is, Jeffrey, actually, that was one of the principles behind this was, I think you had this idea of the solemn vow that you made to administrators where you're like, you learn this tool, it'll work across all clouds. My solemn vow was I didn't want to abstract anything that wasn't honest. So that's the tricky thing with IAM in certain parts of it where I'm like, I will put some of it in metadata, but I will not abstract certain things because I don't want it to lie to you when you're actually going and you need the answer quickly. Yeah. Any other questions? Going once, going twice? So, okay. Well, thanks, team. Appreciate your time.